What's up, everyone? Welcome to another episode of Picks and Pucks. This is going to be some puck talk and more specifically, draft talk. Exciting draft coming this Friday. One of the wackiest and craziest drafts I think I have seen in quite some time. We have the top two where we know what's going to happen there, but after that, we got no clue. And I think that's what makes this so exciting, especially for me, a Coyotes fan whose team has a top 5 pick. So, let's kind of get into this. I'm really going to look at the top 10, mainly the top 5. I might mention the other bottom here if it just comes to that. We're doing this thing live. There's no other takes or anything, so they might come in. We don't know. We're just going to roll with it here. So, let's start with number 1, the Sabres. They're definitely taking Dorion. They need defense pretty badly. They have Ristolainen. He's good, don't get me wrong, but they need a guy like Dorion, and he's going to come in and really, really help them out. I don't know if he's going to push them to the playoffs next year, but they're going to definitely start being a playoff team very soon, I think. The one thing they need to shore up is their goaltending after this. The next pick is going to the Hurricanes. They're going to pick Svechnikov. I don't think they're going to trade it. There were rumblings that they might be looking into it, especially with the new change from Dorion coming in and the new GM and just this whole new regime coming in. It sounded like they were just starting to blow things up, really, which is kind of weird because they were kind of close to the playoffs this year. They're trending upwards for sure. So I don't think trading that pick makes much sense, especially when you got a guy like Svechnikov there who is going to score a lot of goals in the NHL. So he's going to probably go there. Now, this is kind of where things start to get interesting, starting at 3 and down. So with the Montreal Canadiens, in their recent trade with the Coyotes for Max Domi trading Galchenyuk, they really don't have a centerman anymore. I probably could have done some research before this, I know, but I didn't, and I really don't know who they have at center at this point, other than Drouin. But from everything I've heard, I don't think he's necessarily a true centerman like a Galchenyuk would be. So I think they need a center. Now, they can do this in a couple ways, because the top-rated centerman is Kotkaniemi from Finland. Now, maybe they can draft him at 3, but they could also think about trading down to one of these teams, or even the Coyotes. If one of these teams thinks that a player like Zadina or Tkachuk is who they really want, but they know they're not going to get him because they're probably going to be picked here, they might make that trade with the Canadiens. The only team I can really see doing something like that might be... I don't even see the Coyotes making a trade because they don't need a center. I don't know if they are willing to trade for Zadina like that, unless it was really just a pick swap, which I don't think that's going to happen. And I think a swap like that would have happened in the Domi and Galchenyuk trade already. So really, I don't see a trade happening with the Canadiens. I think they are just going to go with Kotkaniemi at 3 there, just because they need a center. He's the top-rated center. It just kind of makes sense to me in my eyes. So I think they are going to be picking Kotkaniemi. I hope I am spelling that right. I hope I'm pronouncing that right, too. Don't want to offend him at all, because he is probably an awesome dude. Obviously, great talent, and I wish him nothing but the best in the NHL for years to come. So the next pick here at number 4 is going to be the Senators. Now, I don't think anyone's got a clue what is happening in Ottawa right now. They are just kind of like a tire fire, and I don't mean any disrespect, but just things are so crazy right now. And really the two people I feel bad for really is Erik Karlsson. He's just probably one of the nicest guys. I mean, everyone says he's the nicest guy you'll ever meet. And I mean, everything has been said on the bullying front, so I'm probably not going to go into that. But I really feel bad for him for being in that situation. So either I hope it just gets fixed in Ottawa somehow, or he somehow gets traded out of there and gets out of that situation completely. And I also feel bad for the fans, too, because I know they're in a very similar situation in the Coyotes where their arena is not really in the best location. So I feel for them a little bit, honestly. But regardless, their pick at number 4 is going to be interesting. Because one thing they can do is they can give this pick to the Avalanche. And I would think I will touch on that a little bit later. But they can give this pick to the Avalanche, which means they will retain their pick in next year's draft. Now, if they do take this pick, that means the Avalanche automatically get their pick in next year's draft, which could have the potential of being the number 1 overall pick, depending on how bad the Senators do and if they win the lottery and all of that. So, if I were the Senators, I think I would be drafting someone here because unless you know you're going to trade Erik Karlsson, you're going to start going to full rebuild mode. If you really think you have some kind of slim hope, I would not rest my laurels on a lottery for next year. Because essentially they would absolutely have to finish last to be picking no worse than they are this year. So I think they should go with this pick. I personally think they should go with Zadina. I don't know who they're gonna pick though. I got no idea. I mean, I just have no clue. It's so hard to tell because I know there have been rumblings that they also like Tkachuk. But I really have no clue what they do. I will say though, if they do give this pick to the Avalanche, I think the Avalanche do pick Zadina. If I am going to have to make a guess, I am going to say the Senators will pick Zadina. So I'm going to write Zadina on the board just to be safe here. Zadina. He's a winger. He's going to score a lot of goals in this league, without a doubt. They should not pass on him. So then that brings us to my team, the Coyotes. Now I'm like freaking out about this draft because there's so many good options for them here. You know, if Zadina drops, they can go with Zadina, which I don't think that's going to happen at this point, but they could go Zadina. If he doesn't drop, I think they should definitely look into the defenseman options, either in Boqvist, Hughes, Dobson, or Bouchard. Now, I believe Dobson and Bouchard for sure fill their holes at right-handed defensemen on the right side there, which they really desperately need. But all I'm hearing about for sure is that Boqvist and Hughes are like the best 2 defensemen in the draft. So I could see them going with any one of those 4. I could also possibly see them going for Tkachuk. I think he's a little bit of a safe pick. You know he's probably going to end up, like when he hits his full stride in the league, he's probably going to end up getting you 50 or more points. I think he actually could develop really well under Rick Tocchet. Sorry about that. I think he could develop really well under Tocchet because Tocchet played that kind of hard-nosed style, but he also knew how to score goals, and so does Tkachuk. He has a skill set to where he can score a lot of goals and put up a lot of points, but it's kind of a toughy one there. I think they're going to end up going defense if Zadina falls, and I don't know which defenseman they're going to do. So I'm just going to write defense here. Defense. Terrible handwriting. But I think, assuming Zadina goes before, I think they're definitely going to go with one of Boqvist, Hughes, Bouchard, or Dobson. And I think it might be Boqvist that might be the top-rated one. They might go with him. I know he's had some concussion issues in the past, which might halter him a bit. But from what I've heard, he's easily one of the most dynamic and skilled players. I know Hughes is being talked up like that as well. The other 2, Bouchard and Dobson, they are... I don't know if they're necessarily being talked about as dynamic players, but they're talked about as being good two-way players, which is really good for defense these days. They can both push the play. They both skate very well. They both have great shots from the point, which is also, I believe, needed for power play situations. Just getting a shot through, which obviously helps things out so much. So this is how I think it's going to go. Let me know your thoughts, because everyone seems to have a different opinion, and this is all it is. It's my opinion from what I've been seeing from around the league. But let me know your thoughts. If you like this video, then give it a like. I think that goes a long way with YouTube. I'm still kind of new to this, but if you liked it, then give it a like. If not, then that's okay. Again, this is just my opinion, and I think this is a really decent outlook on how this draft will go, and it's just so hard to tell with how much talent there is in this draft. Really, I'm pretty happy with the position the Coyotes are in. Yes, I wish they didn't fall as far as they did, but I'm happy with the kind of talent that they're going to get from this draft. So I definitely am in full confidence with Chayka. I know he's going to get the right player. He has not failed us yet in the draft yet. So, yep, if you're just watching this video for the first time or any one of my videos for the first time, please subscribe. That would be really cool. I'm going to have a lot of hockey videos coming out. I'm going to have some music videos coming out too. I'm not going to forget about that. It's not just going to be either me making songs or doing covers or just doing reviews about albums or just anything related to music, because hockey and music are my two passions, and that's what this channel is about, picks and pucks. So I hope you enjoyed this episode, and I will see you again, and let's have a good draft.